Hey there, Daryl Lang here from Daryl Lang Real Estate. Anyway, hey, I'm just making a video today of Seattle, and I'll talk about the real estate market a bit, as well as I just take you on a tour all around the area. Right now, we're in my neighborhood, which is South Beacon Hill. Just wanted to show you the neighborhood park. It's kind of cool. We do have some guys out having some fun over at the skate park right now. Hopefully you can see them right there as they're cruising around. You can see that the playground area has been taped off. I hear that today that New York City has finally actually closed all their parks. We've had our parks closed for about 2 weeks now. So anyway, it's kind of cool. My wife and I walk here fairly often. Here's my lovely wife right now, checking out her cell phone to see if anybody's calling her. But anyway, I just wanted to start off here, and I'll take you around the city. Okay, so now we're down Rainier Beach. This happens to be the Safeway that's down here. You can see the lot. It's actually kind of busy down here. Oh, by the way, it's April 1st, and it's about 2 o'clock right now in the afternoon. And so this is looks kind of normal actually for 2 in the afternoon at this particular Safeway. But anyway, when I'm driving along the streets, for sure, you can tell it's fairly quiet. I'm not going to go into the Safeway directly, but we'll just walk over there just so you can kind of take a look, see what people are doing as well. Still kind of moving about normally. And like I said, I'm not going to go into Safeway right now, but just looking here from the outside and the front door, as you can see, actually, there's not that many people there, which is kind of nice. All right, as I'm leaving the Safeway down in Rainier Beach, just driving down Rainier Avenue. As I mentioned, it's about 2 p.m. right now, and this is basically empty. During this time of day, when I come down here, this area right here, this is where Rainier Beach High School is. It is packed with traffic, and so yeah, just dead. I'm on my way down to Seward Park right now, over in south part of Lake Washington, and there's a nice amount of traffic. People are out, lots of people walking, running, biking, since you're actually right down here on Lake Washington, so people are still getting out and about. I've noticed people have been pretty friendly when we go walking. We give each other social distance, and it's nice to acknowledge one another right now. So I think people are still yearning to kind of be social, and it's nice. They smile when you wave at them, say hi. I think some people, they get a little bit apprehensive at the time, and they don't want to give you eye contact, but someone's got to make the initial move, and so I'm usually the one that's a little bit more gregarious, and I'll say hello to people, and they all light up, which is kind of nice. Here we are. We're down at Seward Park down in Lake Washington at this point in time, and you can see it looks like the park may be a little bit busy. Got plenty of closed off parking spaces actually. Got some old folks that are walking around, which is really, really nice. You can see it's a sunny day today, so people definitely want to get out. Gonna head over to one of the other parking lots, and we'll take a look at this. And I'll get out of the car also. I want to talk to you a little bit about the real estate market in a second here, but just want to give you a view of all that. They've closed the upper park, so you can only stay down here, which is probably a pretty good thing at this point in time. But yeah, the north parking lot here is packed to capacity. All right, so now we're still in South Lake Washington. Seward Park is actually just right across the bay here. This is Andrews Bay, located in the south part of Lake Washington. It's the only bay, or the only section of Lake Washington where you can actually drop anchor legally and you can spend the night on your boat here right across from Seward Park. So anyway, we came down the street because, as you saw, the north parking lot was full. South parking lot's closed, and they've got all the upper part of the park closed. And this park right here, which is right next to the lake, is also closed. There's many of these little parks right along the lake, and they're all closed at this point in time. And so we just had to park on the street just so I could show you all this. Seward Park in itself is about a 2.6 mile loop, I think, and later on I'll take you over to Green Lake, which is actually the busiest park in the city, and that's over in the north end of Seattle. And that has an inner loop and an outer loop. The inner loop, I believe, is 2.9 miles and the outer loop is 3.1. But you can see we've got nice cherry blossoms going right now, and my lovely wife here is enjoying the view, but I'm also going to pass off the camera to her so she can hold this and look at me while I talk to you a little bit about the real estate market right now. So anyway, hey, sorry if the camera's a little bit jerky and whatnot. I don't have all my video equipment to hold it, so we just do it by hand right now, but I know you're probably enjoying just checking all this out. But just wanted to let you know that in our real estate market right now, we're still on emergency like probably the rest of the country. However, Governor Inslee has allowed for us to go ahead and start showing homes again on a very limited basis, and we can make appointments with a homeowner to take a prospective buyer. I think we can't take any more than 2 people at a time, and probably the seller needs to be actually out of the home as well. However, it's a little bit sketchy out there still. You know, I'm actually hesitant on making any appointments, and I don't know why any sellers, even if their house is listed and yes, they want to sell, I don't understand why they want to possibly put themselves at risk if they have people coming through. So anyway, I'm gonna have my wife come walk with me at the same time. She's very new at this. So anyway, what's going on is you can still have appraisers come through the house. You can have inspectors come through the house and take a look at things while your home is under contract, but they have to wear PPEs, the personal protective, I forgot what the E is now, but equipment, thank you, honey, to the clothing. But actually agents don't need to, which I find kind of ironic. And you know, there could be relapse in the sense that apparently we've been told on the news that if we happen to get C19 and we recover, we should actually have some antibodies built up in our body so we don't relapse right away, but they're still studying that. However, in my office building in particular, we had a quote-unquote relapse. 3 weeks ago, my building was closed because someone downstairs in another office excuse me, had come down with C19, so we closed the whole building for disinfection. And then this last Wednesday, it happened again where someone downstairs had tested positive for C19 as well. So we closed the building, and I'll show you that actually later on in the video as we go over there, because that's also a retail complex, and we'll take a look at what's going on there. But the building's supposed to be back open today. So anyway, on with the show, and I'll talk to you some more. Okay, as we are looking at Andrews Bay, I'm starting to look north Lake Washington, and the I-90 bridge is actually way over there. It's hard to see at this point in time, and then beyond that would be the 520 bridge, and then we head all the way up north until we get to the end of the lake, which would be Kenmore. And the south part of Lake Washington, this lake's about 20 miles long, and the south part is actually, okay, so I'm looking at Mercer Island right through the trees here, and I pan back across. You've got Seward Park, and over Seward Park is over in the Renton area where the Boeing Field's located, and that would be the end of Lake Washington over there, and actually gets fed by the Cedar River, which is a great little watershed for us. Okay, we're actually driving through the Georgetown neighborhood, which is a really popular, really kind of artsy, fun, funky, hip neighborhood area, which is part of the industrial, and this is where Rainier Brewery is located as well, but absolutely just dead down here. So here we are, we're down at Costco in Seattle. This is the gasoline section right now. You can see not too many cars. Usually this time of day, it's hit or miss. Sometimes it's really, really packed, sometimes it's not. But right now it's been fairly empty. Actually, I don't even need to fill up. I've got less than 3/4 of a tank, but since I'm down here, I'll probably end up doing it. I'm just pulling over for a quick second here just so you can see all this. So anyway, a lot of people don't even realize that this particular Costco is also the flagship store. This is where Costco actually originated. And so, hang on a second as I pan across. This is Costco 4th Avenue. This is flagship store number 1. And yeah, it was started by Jim Senegal and Jeff Brotman. Brotman's family is well known here in Seattle. Unfortunately, Brotman died last year. But anyway, he and Jim Senegal, who actually had done other type of warehouses like this down in California for the previous 20 years, had a lot of experience. So he and Brotman and a few of the other old money families here in Seattle got together and put together Costco. And so here it is, Costco number 1. Just walking around the parking lot here in Costco, just so you can see this right now. And actually, I'm used to this in the mid-afternoon also being super packed, and it's really not. But we do have, it looks like, some aid units here right now. And here in Seattle, man, whenever there's toilet paper and hand sanitizer, they call out the emergency units now. I'm just kidding. But anyway, this is what's going on. Costco's been pretty good about observing distance. They will only, if you come as a couple, at least here, I don't know about other places in the country, but if you come in as a couple, they will separate you and only allow one person of the couple to come in right now. And so you can see they're practicing their social distance as well. Wow, I'm just next to a Metro bus right now. Front door is only for ADA, and the rest of the public now has to use the rear doors. These payments are temporarily suspended. You guys are traveling with me down East Marginal Way as we're heading south. This is actually where the Seattle Boeing plant is located. So I'm just coming up to it right now. It is the first part of the Boeing plant, and Boeing Field is actually to the left here of the screen, and here's one of the office buildings right here. The reason we have to go this way, unfortunately, is the West Seattle Bridge is actually closed down because it looks like there's some sort of possible structural failure on the connections at this point in time. And so, you know, when we had our earthquake back in, what was that, 2000, was it 2011 or 2001, that Nisqually earthquake, the bridge was fine. Then we had a big snowstorm a few years after that, and our city, in their infinite wisdom, decided that they wanted to go ahead and start salting our roads again, which I have a feeling has seeped into the concrete, started rotting the rebars, and then we have a freeze thaw all the time. And so what ends up happening is that the concrete starts to expand and then contract, and then next thing you know, we're starting to have concrete and rebar failure. And so now the bridge is actually closed down right now. So they have closed it down, so we have to go all the way around into South Seattle here. There's only 2 ways to get in and out of West Seattle, basically, and one of them is the West Seattle Bridge. The other one's down here, which I'm going to take you back to, the 16th Street Bridge, which goes through the industrial neighborhood area of South Park. There is another area a little bit further south. You go down to what's called Tukwila, where South Center Shopping Mall is, and you can head up into North Burien on 116th Street to get into West Seattle as well. But I'll show you this bridge here in a second. Now we're going to be heading over the 16th Avenue Bridge here over in South Park. This bridge was actually closed for about 3 years because since this is kind of a poor neighborhood, the city didn't put as much priority on getting this fixed, unlike if it was in a richer neighborhood, you know it would have gotten done. But anyway, this bridge here goes over the Duwamish River, which then feeds into Puget Sound. This is a major salmon run river as well, and there it is. If you can kind of see it, it's high tide right now. As Puget Sound is not that far away. It's only about 2 miles down the river here. So now we're gonna head into West Seattle from the south side here, and fortunately it's because we got this COVID thing going on, it's super quiet. Otherwise, right now, this particular street would probably just be jam-packed and take forever to get through. We're over at Jefferson Square here in West Seattle now. This is in the Alaska Street Junction, which is on the West Seattle Bridge side of West Seattle. Anyway, I just wanted to show this area to you. Here's the Safeway over here. You can see the parking lot is quite empty. This is retail. There's residential spaces upstairs, and 6-story building actually right here and where Bartell Drugs is. This is actually my office building, and we just reopened today because it was shut down. I mentioned earlier that someone downstairs in one of the other offices had tested positive for the C19. So I had to disinfect the building again, second time in 3 weeks. So it's a little word of caution that you might want to make sure your clothing's clean, your shoes are clean, and just try not to spread it around through non-aerosol contact as well. Just want to give you a view of the West Seattle Junction here. We're on California and Alaska. Traffic's actually quiet. I mean, I'm kind of surprised to see as much cars as I do, but all the retail is just shut down. And so it's just really, really quiet. Easy Street Records right there. Looking up north up the street. And normally during the day, this would be a little bit more busier, especially on a sunny day like this. So here's a view of the city from a lookout just at the top of Admiral Way over in West Seattle, which links to the West Seattle Bridge, which I mentioned earlier is shut down right now. And man, if you didn't know the whole world was pretty much in quarantine right now, this would be pretty idyllic, actually. So we're looking back over Puget Sound right now, back into downtown Seattle. And right down below, right there, that particular, actually, yeah, that waterway right there, that's the Duwamish River. And that's what I actually showed you earlier when we were crossing the 16th Street Bridge. And this is the estuary. And back in the old days, this area here was all estuary. Now it's all part of our port that was built up and filled in. It's all man-made. So unfortunately, all our king salmon habitat, where they used to come in here to grow before heading out to the ocean, it all got destroyed, and leads up to the spawning grounds and whatnot. So we still have king salmon coming through here, but it's not like it was in the old days when the Indians lived down on the beach. And by the way, this is also where Seattle was founded, right down. I'll take you down to Alki in a minute. Here's a little bit of a nicer view for you as we head down towards Alki. It's another viewpoint area as we start heading down towards the beach. Okay, from this section of viewpoint up here, as again we look at downtown Seattle. That's Queen Anne Hill over in front of us, and then it goes up into another neighborhood called Magnolia. You got to take a bridge to go up Magnolia. So right in the middle of the screen, that's the Magnolia Bridge. So this is all part of Elliott Bay, a section of Puget Sound. It's where the ferries will be running through. You can see the Space Needle right there. And yeah, this is a really nice park where a lot of people are at, and there's cars behind me right now parked here. It's not packed, but yeah, everyone's just kind of enjoying sitting in their cars and reading and relaxing. All right, we're actually down at sea level now. We're looking at actually the first restaurant that you'll run into when you're coming off the West Seattle Bridge. That place is actually called Salty's. And the owner of Salty's, a lot of people won't realize this, but as part of Seattle history, the owner of Salty's is the actual original founder of Red Robin, which was located in a little bar right by the University of Washington. It got torn down recently. There's going to be, I think, a condo development now where the old Red Robin, the original Red Robin used to be. And so anyway, and then the West Seattle Bridge is beyond that. And you know, I hope the city actually quits using salt and Seattle drivers can suck up the winter time and actually spend the money on getting winter tires and changing out their tires so they can have better traction, learn how to drive in the snow a little bit. But we do have a hilly town, and then we get the freeze thaw. So it makes it kind of tough. But yeah, it'd be great to not have to spend money on fixing infrastructure like the West Seattle Bridge, which I'm pretty sure salt is what started the problem. Plus it destroyed my old Explorer. I'm a car fanatic, and my Explorer bottom, the undercarriage, was pristine up until the time that we had salt put on our roads here in the city. And people from the East Coast, you guys know what I'm talking about. So anyway, here we are, Puget Sound again, looking back towards downtown, and I think you can see the Space Needle, and then heads over towards back north up towards Magnolia, and then I'll take you over to Alki and show you that view as well, and I'll talk a little bit more about real estate as well. We're driving down Alki now, and you can see where the ferry is, and it's kind of nice. There's plenty of people walking around, but they're all observing their social distancing at this point in time. So anyway, you get to see where, this is where Seattle actually was founded, when the founding fathers and the Arthur Denny Party had shown or had landed here. Sorry, I'm kind of helping my wife hold the camera right as I'm talking, so I can't concentrate on talking to you at the same time. Anyway, so yeah, this is where it all happened. This is where Chief Seattle was, and this is where the Duwamish tribe all hung out and whatnot. So this is where Seattle was founded, and you can see how beautiful this city really can be. And anyway, I'm gonna go down to actually right down to the end of Alki Point, and then we'll talk a little bit more about some real estate stuff that's been going on as well. Here we are down in West Seattle on Alki Point. You can see where it heads back into Elliott Bay, starting to pan up north as it heads up into towards Everett, and then eventually, if you're not familiar with how it works, it's going to head up into towards the San Juans and then open up into the ocean. So that's how Puget Sound works to get out to the Pacific Ocean, and where all the trade comes in for all our ships, where there's hardly anything at our port at this point in time. Panning over, you're looking at Bainbridge Island. There's a ferry terminal over there, and that's known as Eagle Harbor, way over there. And then as I come down the beach where the volleyball courts are at, and Alki Point, there's a Statue of Liberty there as well. And so I believe that's pretty much where it shows where the Arthur party had landed to found Seattle way back when. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit more about some real estate stuff here real quick. I'm going to hand the camera back off to my wife and come around. And so right now mortgages are a little bit high again. The interest rate has spiked back up a little bit over 4% right now. But this might be a great time for buyers, and if you're getting ready to sell, this might be a great time to get poised as we get out of this thing. There's talk on the street that the feds actually might be lowering rates down, and so we're going to have to maybe try to create a little frenzy in the real estate market again as the market opens back up. So this might be a good time. Get your house ready for sale. I'm sure it's gonna, well, I'm not sure, but indicators look like we'll still continue to be in a bidding war, and so that way your house will probably sell quick. Of course, the other side is you're gonna have to buy another house, and so you're gonna be in a bidding war there. So the money that you might make on the sale of your house, you're gonna be putting into the next house. However, interest rates might be getting back down into the threes, into the low threes. Who knows if they'll get into the twos as the Fed maybe tries to re-stimulate the market. But we're kind of fickle right now as to what's going on in the market. So that's kind of talk on the street right now. And then also, at this point in time, with closings and escrows, everything's done pretty remotely. There are remote escrow signers that will come to your house. They will sign, but they'll talk to you first. There's a pre-screening going on, and so they'll talk to you, kind of figure out what your house layout is. They might ask you to meet outside your front porch. They might have you set up something in the garage, or they just might work from you with you from their car. So those are some of the precautionary measures that escrow closers are taking as well. But that way you can call your escrow officer, and then that way they'll tell you exactly what they would like you to do, how to set that all up as well. So that's another part of the real estate market that's been going on. So as I mentioned earlier, we're still seeing some house showings, and if you got an agent that's willing to go out and show you houses, and a seller that's willing to actually open up their house for you so you can go look at it, that's still happening. But also I believe there are some agents that are not agents, but agents and sellers that are still doing sight unseen as well, so you can tie up the property. Commercial real estate, right now, the rules still haven't opened up for that. So it's traditional though. There are buyers that will actually just tie up properties and commercial properties, and that's a little bit more traditional than you would see in residential real estate. So anyway, I'm gonna take you around town still. We're gonna head downtown, we'll head up north. I'll show you the freeway as well, and I hope you're enjoying this video. By the way, if you do enjoy this, please give me a thumbs up down below. Write in your comments and questions, and also hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell. You'll see the parentheses around the bell. That means that you'll get all notifications. Click on that as well. I'll look forward to sending you more videos also, and I hope you're enjoying this as we continue on our tour, all right? Driving down the street now. Just want to show you a little bit more of Alki as we go around. There you go. Yep. So these are the volleyball courts, which during the summertime, Alki is absolutely packed. I do not come down here in the summertime at all. It's just way, way, way too busy. Tide's actually starting to head out at this point in time. It's been high tide all day. But yeah, this place is bustling during the summer. And actually today, it would be even more people if we didn't have this coronavirus thing on a sunny day. People will still bundle up and come on out, but yeah, we're practicing the social distancing and stuff, so that's actually good that we're being responsible here, and we're starting to kind of see maybe a little bit of level off lately. My stepdaughter actually works at one of the hospitals, and fortunately right now her ER, relatively speaking, is still kind of quiet, but they're preparing that something might be happening in the next 2 weeks. So they're still worried about things, and they're trying to get supplies up at the hospital and whatnot. But we're continuing to head west right now. We're heading past the Alki Community Center. And I had mentioned to you that Statue of Liberty that we have here, and it's kind of cool. It's coming up, and maybe you'll see it in the screen here. There it is as we drive by. So yeah, this is a cool spot. This is probably the second most busiest place in the city, and I mentioned earlier that Green Lake is the first most busy park in the city. We're heading out of West Seattle. We're actually heading towards the West Seattle Bridge, so I can give you kind of a shot. So you can see right now they've got it actually shut down, so you cannot use this bridge at all. And so there are a lot of people I've noticed coming down this way. I don't know if they're actually taking the lower bridge, which is the old West Seattle Bridge. Back in the day, that was the one to use. And then the reason we have this new bridge is because a cargo ship had actually hit the bridge and damaged it. So this was the real lifeline to West Seattle back then. And so they couldn't use it for a couple of years and had to build this bridge in order to alleviate the traffic on the lower bridge. I'm not sure if a lot of people are taking the lower bridge right now. We're supposed to be on the honor system and not take this bridge, so I'm heading back south, and I'll go back over the 16th Street Bridge that I took you guys over earlier, rather than doing the kind of quote-unquote illegal thing right now of taking the lower bridge, since the city's actually asking a lot of people not to. It's only supposed to be used for essential vehicles and emergency vehicles, for cargo and that kind of thing, and not public use. But I can tell right now that a lot of people are using it for their own public use, which they're not supposed to. As we're heading down Bowling Field here, we're going past the Museum of Flight, which is actually shut down as well due to this C-19 thing. And we're just going back past the Raisbeck Aviation High School. And then here we are at Museum Grounds. You get to see all the cool airplanes. This is on the west side of the museum grounds, and then there's more on the Bowling Field side of the airfield as well. So there's a sky bridge that connects all of this stuff. And let's see, go ahead and show them that real quick, honey. So over there you can kind of see there's the Museum of Flight as we just drive past this place. Cruising northbound on I-5 through downtown, right around almost 6 o'clock. This would normally be packed right now. We're heading towards the convention center. We're just passing Chinatown, which I will show you guys later on. But right now, we're going through downtown, hitting the convention center. I'm going 60. Now I'm going to just speed up for the fun of it and go 65 to 70 as we just cruise through here, which we can never really do. So I'm just having a little bit of fun as we head to downtown right now. And here we are. We're actually going right towards the convention center now. Going 65 miles an hour through downtown. Actually, I should say 120 just for the hell of it, but then I don't want to incriminate myself really and get a ticket later on. So I'm going 59 now. But yeah, here we are coming into the convention center, or yep, this area right here underneath Freeway Park actually is what this is. So we're coming through here, and I'm going to take you up to Broadway. I'm going to go look at Capitol Hill. All right, check it out. The man's playing the tunes because we are up on Capitol Hill, hanging out now because we are at the ever famous, that's right, check it out, it's Dick's Drive-In. My posse's on Broadway. So this is the place. A little bit of historical reference for you, because this is what Sir Mix-a-Lot put on the map. Dick's, and my high school buddy, Nasty Nes Rodriguez, DJ Nasty Nes. He owned Nasty Mix Records. He and Sir Mix-a-Lot made this place famous on the map. So shout out to my brother Nasty Nes. Yes, that's right. And the man's playing the jams. And you notice everyone is doing social distancing here at Dick's. That's right, we got my man. He's playing in front of Dick's right now. Damn yeah. Woo! We're getting down. It's where Sir Mix-a-Lot used to hang out. And now we got the other brother man right here. He's hanging out. We're gonna get ourselves a Dick's burger. Yeah. Woo! Nasty Nes, it's for you. Mix-a-Lot, it's for you. Woo! Dick's Burger, got my cheeseburger. Dick's, 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 Dick's. Yeah! Check it out. Dick's, 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 Dick's. We're driving into downtown now. You can see how quiet it is. It's just dead, and right now, this would be just so packed. Passing the Paramount Theater. We're heading into Westlake. We're just driving past Nordstrom's, which used to be the old Frederick and Nelson building, and we're heading up to Macy's, which will end up closing soon. Not already, I can't remember. But here we are, Westlake Center, and completely dead. We're just going right past the monorail, and we'll take a drive through Pike Place as well, and that way you'll get to see how dead Pike Place Market is as well. Okay, now we're down First Avenue. You can see how dead it is down here, and we are just getting ready to turn into the Pike Place Market, which, as you figured out, of course, you know, I would just say it should be just packed right now. So it's just amazing to see all this. It's kind of amazing when you think about it. We're kind of like catching history. So yeah, look at this. It's just so quiet. Some of the vendors over to my left, I think they're open right over here, but I'm not sure, but it's a very small section. But yeah, the rest of the market, you can see just quiet. Look how easy it is for me to drive through here. And over on the right in the sanitary market building, look at how everything's just closed up right now. So it'll be a nice transition as the weather warms back up. This C-19 thing goes away for at least the summer, because you know we'll have to prepare again for the winter time. But yeah, I hope you've been enjoying this little travel that I've been taking you through and checking out Seattle right now and what things look like. My wife's panning through the car here, so that way you can kind of see things. And then just to our left, I'll just come over here real quick. This is part of Puget Sound again. So if you guys recall, I took you through West Seattle earlier, which is actually straight across from us right now. Is where West Seattle is, completely straight across. And we're on the other side of Elliott Bay now. And you kind of get the whole idea of how the geography of this place is laid out. We just left Pike Place and now heading into Pioneer Square. Amazing how dead it is down here. So again, part of Seattle history, if you don't know, this is where old Seattle got built up. And parts of Seattle are actually underground. We had our Great Fire, I forgot, maybe it was 1870 something, I can't remember. But anyway, when the Great Seattle Fire came, it burned a lot of buildings down to the ground. And then actually a lot of these buildings that you're looking at right now were built on top of the old infrastructure. And I'm going to be taking you into Chinatown now. All right, we're heading to the Clink, CenturyLink Field. It's where the Army Corps of Engineers right now has been setting up the new field hospital. So that way we got people that have non-C-19 can come here to get care at this point in time. So here we are down at the Clink. Seahawks Stadium, CenturyLink Field. Wow, even got a guy in the booth and he's setting up right now. So we got the Army people here. I'm gonna roll down the window a bit. We got the Army people here. Pretty amazing. Wow. And just wanted to give you a nice little view of the Smith Tower as we're heading towards Chinatown. We're looking north right now at the old Smith Tower, which for many, many years was the tallest building west of the Mississippi. And of course now it's not, but such a grand old building still. All right, so we've just turned into Chinatown now. So I can show you what's going on here in Seattle's Chinatown district. And we'll be making a left turn and looking at Hing Hay Park, which is our big quote-unquote international park down here. And right now there's been a lot of support for the businesses down here. There's a Facebook page where I think there's over 1,000 people that have been following it and supporting all the restaurant owners down here and helping them stay in business at this point in time. So it's our historic neighborhood of Chinatown. Over to my left, the Cow Cow, if you see that right there. The Cow Cow actually is part of my clan family, and Cow Cow restaurant actually has been famous since the late 60s for its Chinese barbecue pork, which happens to be my family village's, the family village recipe. And so, yeah, it's been kind of cool to be able to capitalize on the cuisine from back home. So here you go, Seattle's Chinatown. Over to the right is the Wing Luke Museum, where the Bruce Lee exhibit is still, I believe, being shown right now. All right, just thought I'd take a quick walk through Chinatown. You can see Hing Hay Park across the street, which would be normally bustling with stuff down here. Some other famous icons, like I just showed you, my clan family's restaurant, the Cow Cow. But over here, check this out. This place here, see if I can get across the street. See that? Tai Tung. Tai Tung is where Bruce Lee, it's one of the places that he loved hanging out. There's a room in the back called the Bruce Lee room. And so Bruce used to hang out there after practice with his students and whatnot. And I've been fortunate that Bruce is actually my Sijo, and I've been studying at the Bruce Lee School for, gosh, almost most of my life now. So that's pretty cool. And then over here is the Seattle Kung Fu School, which they do Hung Gar style Kung Fu. And Master Leong has been running this place forever. Now his son's taking it over. And then over here, this place. This is a sign that's left over now. It's probably going to be a historical sign. This building is just getting leased back out, renovated. It was gutted on the inside after the big fire that happened here a couple of years ago, and it was probably an arson fire. And the historical reference actually to this place, we walked down the alley. For many, many years it was locked up, and it's good that it got burned down actually, because there's probably ghosts that people were superstitious about. But this spot right here was where the infamous WAH MEE Massacre happened, which WAH MEE used to be a very, very famous gambling den. I believe it started in the 40s? Maybe it was the 30s. But anyway, for many, many years, up until about the 80s, the gambling den was the place where city officials came, even the police chief, the mayor. So it was kind of like a hush-hush speakeasy, so to speak, as well. But they would come here to gamble, and this was the place where people could come to Chinatown and do that. And I forgot what year it was in the 80s when 3 young guys were in big debt, and they decided to try to rob the place. And they hog-tied up the people that were there, ended up shooting them and killing them, but one person was able to survive. And that's how they were able to catch the 3 guys that, they were 3 immigrant guys that were caught and then prosecuted. I believe one of them has now been extradited back to Hong Kong. Well, not extradited, but he finished off his sentence, but then he got deported after that. So anyway, it's kind of a good thing now that this building has been completely renovated, and now it's getting leased out pretty quickly. This area is changing really fast, and also is an inner city residential hub now. And a lot of these apartments have been abandoned for decades and just left to fall apart, and slowly all these are starting to get refurbished and rented back out again, which is really nice. The hard part for a lot of these buildings is they were owned by so many different partners. It was hard to untitle to try to find out who they were, and then get them to reinvest in their buildings so they could be leased back out. So it's nice finally that all these are getting new life. I've been in some of these, like over there across the street. There's a lot of abandoned apartments upstairs, and I've been through those. And if the walls could talk, the history, I'm sure, would be amazing. So we're in the University District right now. We're going down the Ave, and I'm going to start off actually over, I wanted to show you guys Terry Lander Hall, which is actually brand new now. The old Terry Lander got torn down a couple of years ago, and so now the dorms and a lot of the student housing is actually super modern and super deluxe now. There's even a nicer campus. They have coffee shops. I'm not going to walk you through that right now, but it's pretty nice, the interior grounds. I was pretty surprised. But anyway, we'll start off, and then as I come up here to the right, actually these buildings right here are the Terry Lander buildings, and part of the reason I'm showing you this, I'm going to make a left turn actually, but part of the reason I'm showing you these buildings is a student was actually tested positive for C19 a couple weeks ago, and I don't know what the prognosis was of shutting down or not, but as you know, all the educational campuses are shut down now anyway, and I'm going to take you on a drive through the UW campus in a second here. Okay, now we're driving through the UW campus. I went through the west entrance, southwest entrance actually, and now we're just heading through, and over to my right, you can't see it right now, but that's UW Medical. It's on the lower road. This is the forestry building right here. And we're heading up and through. That's going back up to the main campus. Go the other way. That actually heads down to Husky Stadium. You can barely see the stadium. We're just passing it right now. Then as we come up further, you got the engineering buildings. This was a great campus. I actually graduated from here in architecture school, and a lot of great memories on this campus. Lots changed too. Got a lot of Paul Allen money, got Bill Gates money, and so we got new computer sciences buildings. To the left is the new student union building, which is called the Hub. All right, as we keep going, we go down to my right, we'd head back down to Montlake and back down to Husky Stadium. And this Gothic looking building here is Hall Health, where students come for the medical stuff. And now we're heading into, oh, this building right in front of us holds the UW campus radio station, KUOW, and in the old days, the mighty KCMU, 90.3 or 90.5 FM when I was a DJ there. And then Paul Allen bought it, and it's become 90.3 KEXP now, and still alternative music. And as you can imagine, with Paul Allen money, it's expanded quite nicely. So it's a really nice major radio station on a lower end campus frequency. And then over to our right, we've got our dorms Haggett and McMahon. And again, you can see everything is just empty at this point. I don't know where a lot of the students that aren't from here, where they're staying, or if they are allowed to stay in the dorms or not. I don't know. And then, let's see, we can barely catch a glimpse of it. To my left is what's called the quad. And this is where people, actually I'll take the camera here. This is where people like to actually go and, see if I can focus this in for you. That's where all the cherry blossoms are, right in the quad there. Take you on a quick walking tour through the UW campus. That's Packard Hall, which is owned by, or probably money that's from the Packard family, which builds, is it Peterbilt trucks? Sorry, I can't remember right now. That right there, if I remember right, the old music building. And anyway, you can thank my wife for this. She wanted to take you for a walk through the quad here, just so you could enjoy the cherry blossoms right now. And normally this would be packed with people just for the cherry blossoms. But yeah, so here are the barriers. Just ask you not to congregate, so definitely give distance. And here you go. Hope you're enjoying. So again, I hope this has been informative and helpful. Again, giving you a little bit of what's going on in our real estate market as well. And please give me a thumbs up on the likes and subscribe. And when you hit that notification bell and you see the icon with the parentheses around the bell, click on that for the all notification. That way you'll be up to date when I have new videos coming up on the YouTube channel. All right. We're just leaving campus. We're heading up north towards Green Lake now. This will take us directly to Green Lake, but what you are seeing here is Greek Row. So this is where all the fraternities and sororities are, and it's a pretty large area. It runs probably about, I don't know, 6, 8 square blocks, actually. So there's a pretty large Greek fraternal sorority organization here. And back in college, I used to run this to Green Lake all the time and back. So I think this is maybe a 6-7 mile run. And then if you add around Green Lake, going around that once for about 3 miles, so that was going to be a 9 to 10 mile run total. That was a pretty nice cardio workout. Here we are at Green Lake. Got some people playing tennis here, and sun's starting to go down. It's about 7:30 at this point in time. You know, that's what I love about being up here as we head into summer solstice. I don't understand why we ever have to fall back in time, but you know, when we get to solstice, it won't get dark here till roughly about 10 o'clock. And that sure helps a lot. Keeps Seattle happy, that's for sure. So anyway, take you down for a walk to the lake here. This is one of the main areas. This is the west or east parking lot. There's a pool, Green Lake Pools right over there. We've got a boat rental house that we're coming up to right now. When I was younger, I used to spend a lot of time here back in the 80s. I actually taught windsurfing on this lake, and that was a gravy job back then, considering in the 80s I was getting paid $15 an hour to be a windsurfing instructor, which I still love to do, just don't have as much time anymore. But it's fantastic still, great lifestyle. Love being on the water. And it's a little fishing dock area right here, also the launch dock. I remember when I was about 4 or 5 years old, I had my first fishing experience off of this dock. They used to actually pen trout over in that section right there from the dock over, so that way kids could fish in here during opening season and stuff. So that was pretty fun. All right, so I want to just finish this up here. So as I look at the real estate market right now, Again, I want to emphasize to you, this is a great time actually to get going. Start planning, get your house ready for sale, and then also to find a new home, because we're banking on interest rates dropping down, so that way you'll get a great interest rate on your loan. And so give me a shout and I will help you get your house ready for sale. I'll walk through it like an inspector would as well, so that way we could figure out where we could save you money or what you might just want to let go for a buyer and whatnot. And but we always want to try to make it a win-win situation for both the buyer and for the seller. So anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up, your comments, hit that subscribe button and that all notification bell, and I'll look forward to sending you more videos and hopefully great information. All right, so thanks again for going on the Seattle tour with me. I hope you found it really fun and helpful, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, thanks a lot. See ya. Sorry, I forgot to mention one last thing about loan information. So right now, if you are unemployed on a leave of absence or something like that, that's okay, as long as you're going right back to your work after this COVID-19 thing's done with. Make sure you just let the lender know that. They're going to continue to ask you for verification of employment, because if you lose your job completely, then you won't be able to qualify for a loan. And if you're already in a transaction and you're waiting to close and then you don't have a job, you're gonna lose that transaction completely. So want to make sure that doesn't happen. So make sure that you're on top of it with your employer, that you're going to be able to go back. If you're in something like food services where you're also relying on tip income as part of your income to make your mortgage payments, right now those loans look like they're falling apart, because you can't count the tip income as part of your regular continual consistent income. So we've already seen some loans fall apart because of the loss of the tip income. But if you have regular income coming in, and that's what it's going to be based on for your gross income on your debt to income ratios, you should be pretty good. Okay, so anyway, again, talk to your lender, keep them informed, up to date on all your paperwork and loan information, and hopefully you'll be able to close. All right, thanks a lot. Okay, thanks, see ya.